My sister tried to stop mom from being happy, even though dad's already on his fourth wife. Her demands backfired and now she's angry. Can you believe some people just refuse to let others be happy, especially when it comes to family? My sister Sam tried to dictate my mom's entire life, all while our deadbeat dad was on his fourth marriage. But this time her ridiculous ultimatum completely backfired, and honestly, it was a moment of pure satisfaction. So, my parents divorced when my sister Sam and I were just kids. I was 10, she was 13. That was 12 years ago, and let me tell you, our father was and still is a serial cheater. He's on his fourth marriage now, if that tells you anything. A year after the divorce, mom met George. She kept it quiet for a while, didn't even introduce him to us until 2 years later, when she was absolutely sure he was the one. And honestly, that was the happiest I'd ever seen her in a relationship. My mom has always been this incredibly happy, bubbly person, but with George it was different. But Sam? Oh, she hated George. With every fiber of her being. She absolutely adored our father, and she was just heartbroken that mom dared to move on. It got so bad that she even threatened to cut contact with mom if she didn't dump George. And mom, bless her heart, she actually did it. After that, mom was just depressed, so incredibly down. But Sam and dad? They were thrilled. A few months later, Sam left for college. What they didn't know, or maybe didn't want to know, was that mom started seeing George again about a year ago. And just like before, she's been so happy. My sister got married last weekend, and yesterday we had a lunch before she and her husband left for their honeymoon. When I arrived, she seemed a bit off. Apparently, she'd asked mom to join us, but mom had declined. So Sam started opening up, saying that ever since mom dumped George, she'd been really distant and cold with her. Never rude or mean or angry, just cold. If Sam asked her for anything or needed something, mom would be right there, like when Sam had severe COVID. But other than that, mom never contacted her on her own initiative. Sam was actually telling me that maybe mom would never be happy again because she ended her relationship. I just looked at her and said, "Don't worry about it, they're still seeing each other behind your back." Mom seems really happy. The look on her face. She was absolutely shocked. She started yelling in the middle of the restaurant, trying to call mom right then and there. Then she turned on me, calling me an a-hole for never telling her before. I honestly never thought it was some big secret I was hiding. It just felt like a private matter, and I genuinely thought Sam knew too. How could she not realize mom was happy again? She'd been going on weekend getaways. Now Sam is demanding that mom break up with George, or she'll go no contact. And I can't help but feel like the a-hole for everything, especially for miscalculating that my sister still held the same ridiculous stance. Honestly, you think you know your family, and then something like this happens. I recently inherited $400,000 from my parents, and my younger brother, well, he got the same amount. But just months after their passing, he managed to get himself swindled out of nearly all of it by some shady investment scheme. And now? He's asking me to give him $200,000 of my inheritance. My parents passed away, and there was a slight delay on my end getting my inheritance because of some legal complications. But my brother, who's 31, got his $400,000 right away. And he blew it. He actually had the nerve to argue that our parents would have wanted us to have equal financial standing, and that losing his money wasn't his fault. Right. And he promised he'd pay me back later. I feel absolutely terrible for him, truly, but I just don't think it's fair to give up half of my inheritance for a mistake he made, no matter how unfortunate it was. I've been working hard, budgeting, and planning to use this money for my family's future. If I give him half, it puts my own financial security at risk. My wife completely supports my decision, but of course, some relatives think I'm being greedy and heartless, saying family comes first. Am I the a-hole for this? I was honestly starting to waver, feeling the pressure from my relatives. But then I called my brother and told him I'd only consider giving him money if he told me the absolute truth about what happened. He admitted he invested in a company called Aramco. Obviously not the real one, to a sheik. He paid a $10,000 deposit the first time and got back $20,000. That emboldened him. He kept scaling up, always getting double, until he invested $100,000 and got back $110,000. Then, feeling invincible, he invested $300,000, guaranteed $600,000, and the rest, as they say, is history. He made a police report, but he had no evidence. He'd withdrawn everything in cash, dealt only in cash, and the receipts were fake. He even kept the previously doubled amounts in cash at his house. I couldn't believe how stupid someone could be. I told him straight up. His lack of basic common sense and greed does not constitute grounds for charity on my part. I told him to take better care of the remaining $100,000 he had left. He cussed me out, told me I disappointed our parents. As for my relatives, I put them all in a group chat and told them I'd only match whatever they would pay to my brother, and even offered to double it since I was so greedy. Oh, I got cussed out there too, and now they're all blocked. They told me the money had gone to my head. He called again through my wife this time. Turns out things were even worse than he originally told me. That $100,000 he had left? It's all going toward paying off loans and a car he financed. So he's basically left with nothing. He finally admitted how desperate he is, apologized for not being fully honest, and for being a douche and cussing me out. He said he realizes he messed up big time, that greed got the better of him. He was asking for $50,000 instead of $200,000, promising to pay me back eventually, and said he'd appreciate whatever help I could offer. Yes, I asked him about the previous increments he received. Turns out, he actually invested $350,000. The desperation in his voice was palpable, but honestly, I'm done with him. He wasn't always this reckless or stupid, but the guy I'm dealing with now is a complete mess. His greed and lack of financial knowledge are his own doing, and I'm not about to bail him out. Imagine coming home, exhausted after a brutal 14-hour workday, just wanting to collapse, and finding someone else just chilling in your living room, eating your food, uninvited. That's my life, thanks to my wife giving her brother a key to our house. I routinely go home on my lunch break, and many times I've found my brother-in-law there, completely uninvited. No one else is home, but he just lets himself in and eats my food for lunch. A couple of weeks ago, I had this insane 14-hour day at work, a Thursday, and I had to be in the field for a construction project on Friday. I was struggling at the office and just decided to call it a day, so I could go home and rest. When I arrived, there he was, my brother-in-law. I was exhausted and really truly not in the mood for a guest. Later that day, I texted him and told him that I wasn't comfortable with his unannounced visits. I asked him not to do it anymore. I made it clear he was always welcome at my house, but I wanted to know when he would be there. I needed boundaries. He seemed cordial in his text response, but oh my God, I have caused a civil war. My wife is furious with me, and so are her other siblings and parents. They all said that I'm weird, that I don't understand how siblings work. I just don't get it. In my opinion, it's weird and rude to act like you have carte blanche to someone else's house and food. Am I the a-hole for this? It feels like her family is from another planet. They said I don't understand how siblings work, but I would go absolutely crazy if I found a family member in my house without being invited, especially if they were eating my food. That key needs to be revoked, or I need to change the locks if my wife refuses. Her normal meter is completely broken. This is not normal. I truly felt like I was going crazy from all the pushback from my wife and her family. My own family, we all have keys to each other's houses. My dad's a locksmith and set it up that way for emergencies. But none of us, not parents, siblings, or even adult nieces and nephews, have ever violated that trust by going into another's home without asking or being asked. If you're entering my home uninvited and unannounced, eating my food, and laying around like you live there, then you're paying me rent, utilities, and grocery money. This whole situation has just left me feeling completely bewildered and frustrated.